Hello, welcome to my bookshelf, and today is day one of Spookathon. I love October, I love scary stuff, and I love reading, so this is like the perfect thing ever. Here are the books that I have decided to read for Spookathon. So there's 5 challenges, I picked 5 books. If you want to know my full reasonings, you can check out my TBR video, I will link below. But yeah, so these are the books I picked, and there's actually another book which I was debating if I was going to pick up from the library or not, because it's not like an official challenge, but the creators of Spookathon, they thought it would be a great idea to kind of have a book that we could all read together, kind of like as a buddy read, and to talk about and discuss, which, by the way, is an amazing idea. They picked A Stranger in the House by Sherry Lapina. I was debating if I wanted to get that book from the library so I could participate, but turns out I entered and I won their giveaway for the book. So it should be on its way. I'm hoping to get it this week because otherwise that would be really poor timing. But yeah, so I won, and so obviously as soon as I get it, that's going to be a priority read for me, because not only, I mean, I won the giveaway, like I have to read this, right? I am just excited in general. I love thrillers. It sounds really interesting, and I love the cover, like as a side note. Oh, but anyway, yeah, so these are the books that I decided on my own to pick. So we'll see what happens. So now I have 6 books on my Spookathon TBR, which is pretty ambitious. 5 was already ambitious, but we'll see what happens. So as far as my plan, I want to read this sooner versus later, because I picked this for the Throwback Thursday read of the month, where you pick a book to reread, vlog your experience. But yeah, so as far as today, right now I'm on my lunch break for my internship. And so I didn't want to pick this because, you know, I want to kind of say what my thoughts are before I start reading the book. And I haven't done that yet because it hasn't been Spookathon. So I waited. So I'm gonna have to wait until tonight probably to start this book and start my vlog for that. So couldn't pick that to take with me to my internship. So I went with Room. And actually I've read 35 pages so far, so that's a pretty good start, I think. Yeah, this has been really interesting so far. It's from the 5-year-old's perspective. So if you don't know, this 5-year-old boy and his mom, they're just in this room. And for this boy, like, he's never been outside this room, the mom has, but the boy hasn't. And it's from his perspective, and we get to kind of, and right now, I mean, it's just kind of world building. You're kind of seeing what's normal for him and what's not, and what's different for him compared to, like, normal life outside of the room. But yeah, it's been really interesting so far. Alright, so I think that's all I have to say for right now. So I will keep you updated, and I will see you soon, so wish me luck. Hey, it's getting pretty late. It's probably almost midnight of day 1. I've been reading Room. I'm now 138 pages in. I read 100 more pages. And honestly, I could keep going, but I know I need to go to bed because it is late. It's starting to get really, really good. Like, it's getting to like this epic climax right now, and I am really excited to see what happens next. Yeah, man, I don't want to spoil this book, so I'm not going to say any more, but I'm really, really enjoying it. And so yeah, I read 138 pages for day 1, which I think is pretty good. Mondays, I watch Dancing with the Stars, so I did that, and I read this during the breaks. And then after it was over, I've been reading a lot just because it was getting really good. But yeah, so far a pretty good start with the Spookathon, so I'm really excited, and I will keep you updated. Alright, hello, it is day 2 of Spookathon. I haven't read a single page yet. It's like 5:30, but, you know, obligations kind of got in the way. You know, I had classes to do and things like that. So I haven't done any reading since the last time I checked in with you guys, but something exciting did happen, so I had to share this with you guys. I got a package in the mail, and I'm pretty sure I know what book it is. As I mentioned before, I actually won the giveaway for the Spookathon for A Stranger in the House, which I'm really, really excited. So I wanted to kind of like unbox it or unbag it, if you will, with you guys. So clearly it came from Amazon. Ooh, okay. So, and then inside, ta-da! Oh, I love it. There's actually like a green tint to the lettering, which I'd never noticed when I've seen this cover before. I love it. Okay, I love silhouettes. I love the color blue. And it's also got the velvety cover, which I absolutely love. So, yeah, this is kind of like the read-along book for Spookathon that the creators chose, and I'm really, really excited for it. So now that I finally have it, I can start reading it. So I'll probably start reading this tonight. I have dinner, I have Zumba. So it's gonna be a busy night still. I have to wake up early tomorrow, so we'll see. I'm going to try very hard to read as much as I can as soon as possible. Okay, so it's about 11:30 right now. I didn't get as much reading done as I had wanted to. I was hoping to finish Room, but that didn't happen. I'm on page 190, so I'm getting there, but still have quite a bit to go. It's still really interesting. I do really like it a lot. I'm really curious to see what happens next, just because the plot of the book. I mean, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to ruin anything, but like there was a really exciting part that I just got past, and now it's kind of going back down to like normal sea level. So I'll be curious to see if there's like another like really dramatic thing that happens towards the end. So we'll see. All right, so that's my reading update for the day. Looking at tomorrow. Yeah, so my plan will just be to try to finish Room tomorrow and then to start A Stranger in the House because I just got that, which I'm still really excited about. So yeah, those are my plans, and I will update you with my progress tomorrow. All right, I just finished Room by Emma Donoghue. And I must say, I really liked it. Yay! So I finally finished my first book of Spookathon, so that's really exciting. It's definitely a book that has to do with psychological issues and like a really interesting case study, if you will, a really unique situation. But yeah, I thought it was really well written. It seemed really real, which I appreciated. Like, this didn't seem over the top or extreme. It seemed realistic and what would actually happen if this were to happen. So I really appreciated the honest storytelling in that. You don't always get that in books. And I also really like that we got the book through Jack's eyes. He's the 5-year-old in the room. It's interesting because there's a lot of things that Jack doesn't understand, but we do as adults. It was an interesting reading experience, but I'm glad I picked it. I'm glad I read it. It was a good book to start Spookathon with. But now it's time to move on to other books, and I have just started the first 20 pages of A Stranger in the House by Sherry Lapina, and I'm enjoying it a lot too. It's also very fast paced, and I want to know what happens next. And we're seeing different points of view, which is obviously very different from the book I just read. But I really like it. I think it helps add to the suspensefulness of it. And the characters seem interesting so far. Like, we're just being introduced to them, but I'm really curious to see where it goes. And, there's kind of like some questions posed at this point, and we're not really sure what exactly happened, but we're trying to figure it out with the characters. And I'm very intrigued. I'm not really sure exactly what happened, but it's been a good day as far as reading goes. I didn't have that much time. Tomorrow is going to be another busy day. I'm going to have classes and internship, and then I'll be playing some D&D with some friends, which is super nerdy, but it's actually really fun. It's really hard. It's very, very hard. I'm not really good at it at all, but I'm enjoying being a part of the party. But either way, so that's what tomorrow looks like. We'll see what happens, and as always, I will keep you updated. Hey, just wanted to do a quick update. I sadly didn't end up reading anything today. Which I kind of figured was gonna happen. I had a lot going on between school, internship, and Dungeons and Dragons. So wasn't exactly productive as far as the readathon goes, but it was a good day overall, just, as far as my personal life goes. Just got back from eating some Taco Bell and watching Twilight Zone with a friend, so a good day, but not a good readathon day. So I'm gonna have to make up for it on the weekend, which was kind of my original plan anyway, so I'm not really surprised. Tomorrow I have internship, but after that, at least right now anyway, I don't have any plans. So I should be able to get a decent amount of reading done. We'll see what happens. I'm hoping to continue with A Stranger in the House and see how that goes. So yeah, I think that's all I have as far as updates go. Hey, it's late Friday night and I did a decent amount of reading today, so I'm very proud of myself. First off, to update you on A Stranger in the House, I read like 100 pages today, so I'm like 120 pages in now. It's really getting good. I mean, it's been good the entire time, but it's kind of consistently been good. Excited to keep reading that. I also wanted to update you guys and say that I started the book Hater today, and I read 180 pages, but I had to take a break from this book a couple times just because the panic that is being described in here feels very real. And this is something that happens right away, is that it's really scary. So like you'll just be talking to someone and the one person, they'll kind of get really quiet and then they kind of like turn on you and then they start attacking you and literally killing you. And yeah, so this is a rather graphic book. Lots of very descriptive death scenes in here. There's been widespread panic at this point where I am in the book, and it's just been building and building and building the tension, and I really don't know how it's going to resolve or how it's going to end. Because admittedly, there isn't that much time left in the book, and I really don't know. I wonder if there's supposed to be like a series, and this is the first one. I'm not really sure. Because yeah, I'm not really sure where they're gonna go with this. They've just kind of been setting up this panic and this like dis-ease with the situation, and I'm not really sure how they're gonna solve and wrap everything up in like the next 100 pages or so. So I'm not really sure what to expect from this anymore. But yeah, it's kind of a downer, just in the sense that like it's kind of like a very hopeless, scary situation with all the violence going on and the fact that there's no sign of when it's going to happen. It just happens. Rant aside, it's been a really good book so far and a pretty good day as far as reading goes. But yeah, the two books I have been reading haven't exactly been bringing me some joy in the traditional sense. It's just been kind of anxiety producing, I guess. Just imagining like these situations playing out is kind of scary. But yeah, I will just keep you guys updated as always. Hey, it's Saturday night. I didn't get as much reading done today as I had originally planned. But I did finish Hater. I actually enjoyed it. I wouldn't say that it's a perfect book or anything like that, but it was a really enjoyable book, and I liked that it was unique. I thought it took some risks, and it was definitely very gruesome, very bloody, as the title and the cover suggests. And I found out that this is the first book in a trilogy, apparently. I'm not sure exactly like where this trilogy is gonna go, like where they're gonna take it next. I mean, it kind of is amping up to an all-out like war at this point, and I mean, other than fighting and stuff, I'm not really sure what they plan to go with next. So I don't know, like if the rest of the series is just a bunch of fighting and things like that, I don't know how interested I would be in it. But at this point, I am kind of curious to see what would happen next. So it does leave me wanting a little bit more. I will say that some of this was a little repetitive, but it was still interesting. So there was that. And then I continued my reading in A Stranger in the House. I'm about halfway through. I didn't finish it yet, but I'm still reading it. I'm definitely enjoying it. So it's a good book so far. So that's been my reading so far. I'm about to go out tonight, so most likely not gonna read any more for the night. Which is kind of sad because I have quite a few books that I haven't even started that were on my TBR for Spookathon. So I'm going to have to like knuckle down tomorrow and read a lot, or at the very least like reevaluate like what I've already read and like what challenges they fit, because maybe I don't have to read all of them to meet all the challenges, and I can just kind of take it a little easy on myself and read less than, you know, all 5 books for all 5 challenges. So. Hey guys, I just wanted to give you my final update and wrap up for Spookathon. So in case you're wondering, I did actually finish A Stranger in the House by Sherry Lapina, and I must say that I really enjoyed this book. I'm not going to say anything to spoil it because that would just be cruel and unusual, but yeah, this was really good. It kind of starts off with this kind of like broad strokes idea of like what happened and what's going on, and then like a more clear fine-tuned picture kind of comes into focus by the end, and it's slowly done. It was a great way to end my Spookathon reading, and yes, you heard that right, I only finished this book on my final day. And the reason for that is I kind of had some last minute plans, which for me is unusual. I normally don't leave my house over the weekend except for like necessary trips. So for me to have plans on the weekend is like a huge deal. So when friends reached out to me to go paintballing, I was like, hell yeah. So that's what I did. And I had never gone paintballing before, and it was really a lot of fun. Spookathon is officially over, which is kind of sad because my weekend ended up being way busier than I expected. And actually just the week in general, I really didn't have a whole lot of time for reading, and I was kind of banking on the weekend to help me, you know, finish these challenges. And then other things actually came up, which for me, like I said, is unusual. So that threw everything off. So I only ended up reading these 3 books right here, which at first I was like disappointed because technically I have 6 books on my Spookathon TBR and I only finished half of them. But then I stepped back and I was like, you know what, 3 books in 1 week, especially a busy week, like that is great. I should be proud of myself. So I am very proud that I finished 3 books. That is awesome. Because I was kind of taken off guard by my weekend plans, I kind of had to reevaluate like how I did, because I was hoping to kind of get a chance to read more than just these 3 books, that I, you know, can kind of look at the challenges and see which ones I haven't, you know, met yet, and then make sure that I read the right book, you know, in the final day of the Spookathon, but that didn't happen. So now that it was over, I was like, dang, did I actually complete the Spookathon challenges? So there were 5 like official challenges, but then there was the 6th one, which was just to read A Stranger in the House, and that was kind of an extra optional one. That one is out of the way. This book actually, you know, when I was trying to like evaluate like how I did, this fits a couple other challenges as well. So for me, it also completes the challenge of reading a thriller, obviously, pretty straightforward. But this one also relates to a childhood fear, which is another challenge. At night, as a kid, when you hear like a strange noise in your house and you're like curled up in your bed and you're like, what is that? Who's there? Is there a stranger in the house? Like, that's one of the like fears that's running through your mind. So I think this book definitely matches the childhood fear challenge. So I'm checking that off. And then Hater fits 2 challenges as well. So we have a spooky word in the title. I mean, it is the title, Hater, and it's also written in a very spooky, creepy way. And this book also completes a book set in a spooky location. And as you've heard me talk about before, like people are just straight up murdering people for no reason. Like you've done nothing to them, and then all of a sudden, like they could be your loved ones, and they're just straight up murdering you in creative, horrible ways. Yeah, no. So that's horrifying. Spooky doesn't even do it justice. It's just straight up terrifying. So this book definitely fits both of those categories. And then I was looking at the last challenge, which was to read a book with orange on the cover, and I was like, dang. Like you can't really finagle your way into completing that. Like, you either have read a book with orange on the cover or you haven't. So I was like, dang it, because I didn't get to the gates, and that was the book I was going to read that had orange on the cover. Like, this was my go-to book for that. Like, the other books, I didn't even really look to see if they had it orange on the cover, because this had it covered. I didn't really have to worry about it. And so when I realized I didn't read that book, I was like, dang it, like, am I really gonna lose on this last challenge? But then, no. Room has orange on the cover. Look at that right there. An R in lovely orange. So I have officially completed all 5/6 challenges of Spookathon. You know, I might not have finished all the books on my official TBR, but I did complete all the challenges. So to me, that's a win in my book. It could have been a bigger win, but it was still a glorious win. And I'm very proud of myself. I'm very excited that I participated and that I did read 3 books in a very busy week for me. A week that was way more busy than I expected it to be. Okay, and with that, I think I should stop ranting, because I'm sure this is a very long video, and I'm sure you're anxious to get to the end. So I don't really have much else to say other than that this was a really fun readathon. This was my first ever Spookathon, and I think it went really well. It could have gone a little better, you know, it always could, right? But I did complete all the challenges, so I'm very proud of myself. So with that, I will just thank you guys, as always, for watching this video, and until next time.